new Django project. First, before starting any new project, make sure your virtual environment is turned on, and you can pip freeze to check that Django 2.2 is installed. Now we're going to run the command Django admin, start project, and whatever project you want to create, let's call it first project. What this will do is create a lot of folders that will be contained in first project. So now I could see first project right here. If I CD into it, I can open it up in my code editor. And once that's open, I see that by running that command, it created all these files in that folder. All right? So the way Django works is by building a bunch of apps within your project. This can be a little bit confusing, but just think about a web app in Django is the Django project, and it's made up of a lot of smaller apps that do very specific things. So the way we can create a new app is coming back to the command line and running python manage.py, start app, and the name of the app. Let's call it app1. By running that command, we see this folder was created with all these files inside. It's important to remember that every single time you create a new app that you want to use in your project, you have to go to the project settings.py, look for installed apps, and add that app in the installed apps. Afterwards, we're going to go to our urls.py in our project, and we can comment out this admin as well as the import for admin, and add a path which we will then include our app1.urls. This include statement will need to be imported, and this URLs is pointing to a non-existent currently URLs file in our app1. So I'm going to create a new file called urls.py, and now I'm going to need to do something similar to what is in our project level urls.py. I can copy this, come over to the app urls.py, delete the things we don't need, and instead of including, we're going to point it to a method that will be in our views file. We will need to import from dot import views. This will import the views file that is in the same app. So now I can create a new method called defIndex that takes in a request, and this will return HTTP response of this is the equivalent of app.route. Fix that. Okay, so what we just did is tell our main urls.py that we want to look in our app urls.py. It's going to come over here, and when we go to the root route, that's what these first arguments are, it's going to execute this views.index. The one thing you want to notice, though, is this HTTP response is actually going to be imported from Django.shortcuts. I'm going to come back to our terminal and run python manage.py run server, and it all should be working. Now, I'm going to go over to our browser and refresh to localhost 8000, and we see this is the equivalent of app.route.